Welcome to the Business of Dance podcast, where you'll learn what it takes to create your dream professional dance career.
Join us as we dive into the insights and experiences of the world's top dance industry professionals, including dancers, choreographers, agents, casting directors, educators, and other dance industry experts.
We explore a diverse range of topics, from personal development and mental skills to audition techniques, creating meaningful industry connections, social media marketing, seeking out dance agents and casting opportunities, on-the-job etiquette, talent unions, pitching to the media, health, finances, and so much more.
Here is your host, Menina Fortunato.
I'm really excited for today's guest. I think we're in for a real treat. He's originally from the Washington, D.C./New York area. He then moved to Los Angeles to further his career in dance. He received a Bachelor of Arts from the Marymount Manhattan College. His degree focused on the production side of the arts: sound design, lighting design, set design, videography, and video editing. As a dancer-performer, he has toured with Britney Spears. He's also worked with Jennifer Lopez, Nicki Minaj, Usher. He's performed on a ton of TV shows: Ellen, So You Think You Can Dance, Dancing with the Stars, American Music Awards, MTV VMAs, several dance movies, Jack and Jill, and Footloose. He now resides in Halifax, Nova Scotia. For any Canadians in the house, please help me welcome George Jones Jr. Hello, hello. Welcome.
Yeah.
Hey.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good to have you and good to meet you. And I can't believe we've just met because we have so many mutual friends and connections. And we were both, I think, in LA at the same time, but somehow never crossed paths.
You know, it's being out there, it's like, planes in the night. You're there and then you're not there. And
it's so true. I feel like I got the jobs in LA to go leave somewhere else half the time.
That's it. It's just a hub, right?
Yeah, it's the hub of where the LAX airport is, and it's where you change clothes and change laundry and go to the next city for whatever next job you're booking. And then also, too, who knows, maybe we did audition in the same rooms and just didn't know each other at the time.
I know. You zoomed in, you're focused.
You're focused on your choreography, your mirror. You're not paying attention to anybody else. So
exactly.
Who knows? Maybe we have been in the same rooms and we just didn't even realize. I actually have interviewed someone that we did a dance job together, and we didn't even realize it until halfway through the interview. When she mentioned a dance job, she was like, I was on that job. I was like, wait a minute, with this choreographer on this year? She's like, yeah. I'm like, wait a minute, we did this? She's like, yeah. Both of us
like that, man.
We didn't even realize we danced together. That's how many people you work with in this industry. You don't even realize who you work with half the time.
No,
sometimes they're short. Sometimes they're short. You do rehearsal and you do show day and maybe a tech rehearsal, and that's it. You're done. And it's like, right. Hi-bye. And some people you never see again for like months or years, or, people come and go, all the things. Anyways, that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about you. I want to know the early story. First of all, how did you even get started in dance? Where did that even journey begin? Are you self-taught, or were you a studio kid? Tell us the early years of how you got involved in dance.
I actually started dancing relatively late, you guys. I started dancing when I was 17.
Oh, wow.
Before that, I was a jock. I dance as like part of my culture. I'm a 90s kid. So like house parties and a lot of functions that were in the neighborhood, and we naturally danced, but I never trained in dance until I was 17. It was basically me trying to impress a girl, and
I love it.
And it changed my life. It was all very serendipitous. And I come from the high school I went to has some people who have become very famous and talented and successful at what they do. The girl I was trying to impress, she was a Rockette for about 10, 12 years. Her name's Melinda Farrell, one of the most talented dancers ever, beautiful dancer. A couple actors, I have a friend that's on The Pit, Kristen Villanueva. She's one of the nurses on The Pit. Someone's on Broadway right now, and Mary's Wife. So I come from an area in Washington, D.C. where it's just, I don't know, there's this hidden, rich culture of arts and talented young individuals. I mean, Sandra Bullock was my mom's best friend back in high school.
Wow.
Like, it's a little boiling pot. So I started with musical theater. I could just pick up. I'm very observant. I'm still that person. I'm super observant. I can follow people's energies. I can read your body language right now and imitate it. Or, that's one of the things that really made me successful was the fact that I pick up on people's vibe. I can mimic people's energy. I started doing musicals, West Side Story, Singing in the Rain. I was acting, actually. I was in One Floor with the Cuckoo's Nest. I got a scholarship to do a ballet and a jazz class a week at a studio. And the next thing you know, I was auditioning for a college. Terrible, terrible solo, terrible jazz solo.
So hip hop hadn't entered
No.
the vocabulary yet.
Anything hip hop was
Wow.
self-taught in culture. Back in the day, we had to record TRL. We had to put the
VHS and press record.
And
These
then
kids don't know anything about that.
And I would run it back and I would learn like stuff from music videos that I liked, but I wasn't training in hip hop. And so I got into college. The only college I got into, they offered me a scholarship to be a male dancer. So I was like, I guess I'm a dancer now. And I was putting myself through college. So they gave me, I want to say, a 50% scholarship. So
nice.
I moved to New York and I became a dancer, and it was a crash course. I was in there with people who were twirling, and like my first day of men's ballet class, the other men in the class were laughing at me. It was like a movie, honestly. But I, again, being observant, I was around the best people, and I was able to get the tricks. I was able to figure out how to do things in a way that made me excel, that made them excel, rather than running from the conflict and the people laughing and all that. I befriended those people. I made them like me as a person and want to see me succeed. And the crazy thing is, in university, again, I was just kind of part of the quota, man. I was a boy, one, that they probably got some money from someone, and I was Black, so they probably got some more money from someone. And, they were like, all right, we'll take them. They didn't expect me. They weren't training me to be a professional. That's why my background is in all the technical side of stuff. But I was training to be a professional. And once I realized that, my leg wasn't going above 90 and I couldn't do more than a triple on both sides. And, I could perform and I could pick up. But when I realized I didn't have those things, I had to really look at what space in dance is for me, because there's so many different spaces and pockets for everybody, right? What you got to start, as you look at the business side, there's pockets of different groups of dancers that are successful at different things. It's really rare that you see a dancer that's over here in the Broadway pocket, but over here in the commercial tour pocket, and also in the TV pocket. And now we got the social media TikTok pocket. You know what I mean? It's rare that you see someone in all those pockets. So you kind of have to pick a couple and really forge your way in those pockets and make yourself known. So after graduating, and I trained my butt off in ballet, modern, and jazz for 3 years, or for 4 years. And my senior year, I started auditioning. I had said I wouldn't start auditioning until I graduated, because I wanted to be the second person in my family to graduate from college. So I knew if I got you're in New York and it's all right there. You hear about an audition, it's somewhere, there's a cattle call, but I really tried to get my way through without auditioning. The first audition I go on is for an old award show called Hip Hop Honors. And I crash an audition and I make it to the end. You make it to the end and they tell you to sign in and put your agency. I didn't have an agent. So I lied. I put an agent. Everyone knows that.
How did that work out? They're calling, we'd like to book George. And they're like, who?
Right.
What happened there?
All the people there were with agencies, and they were like, just put this agency down. They'll take you on to get paid, to get the money.
Of course they will. They won't say no to that commission. So be like, sure, you want to sign with us? You come with 10%? Come on over. It's a great strategy, by the way. Keep going.
Well, I tried. And by the morning, I was calling people and they were like, oh, I got booked. I didn't get booked. The agency was like, nah. The agency was
Oh,
like,
really?
nope. They were like, nope. But still, I try to, I'm a glass half full person. So
Mhm.
even in that, I just saw my own potential, being that my first audition, I made it to the end with like some of the most amazing dancers in the world, honestly.
That's rare. That doesn't happen often.
And the choreographer saw me and the choreographer chose me. So that meant something to me. And even with my credits, it's crazy because I want to rewrite my bio. And instead of having these artists as credits, I truly prefer to have the choreographers and the directors and the top tier artists that I've worked with of a generation as my credits than these artists. You know what I mean? Or than this TV show or maybe the movie. But
Well, do you want to give a shout out to any? Because I didn't name any choreographers in your bio. Any shout out to
oh
people that
well, I mean,
you worked with that you highly respect that you want to give some love to?
well, if you guys got a pen and paper, write these people
Write
down.
these names down because these are the working choreographers. Write them down.
That change your life, right? So coming out of college, I started training and was exclusively in Rhapsody, the company, which is by Rhapsody James. And she changed my life. She taught me how to be a commercial hip hop dancer. She taught me how to take my technique and infuse it with, it was street jazz, right? And that title makes it feel more accessible. It makes people who come from a technical background feel like, all right, well, I think I may have some of the tools to step into this other side, because commercial dance isn't like all really like hip hop. It's honestly it's jazz funk. It's jazz funk with a shoulder or a groove, or, you know what I mean? And then, also Luther Brown, Jamal Sims, Tabitha Napoleon,
Yeah.
of course, the dynamic duo. You know what I mean?
Creative director for everything now. Keep going. Yeah. Who else?
But then some people that, are a little underground. Jonte, Jonte. I mean, the list goes on. The list goes on. But those people really gave me like so many different layers, right? And what you want to do as an artist is be layered. Ogres have layers, you know what I'm saying? And sorry, you guys, I have 4 children, so it's all it's Shrek and K-pop Demon Hunters.
Oh gosh, the K-pop in my house too. Demon Hunters especially.
We're golden over here. Anyway, but as an artist, you want to be layered. And what you really want to get to a place where you can just shed your skin. Like a reptile, like a snake, I don't know, layers. You want to walk into a room and see what someone's doing and shed your own ego, your own belief of what it is or how it should be done, and step into that person's skin. And if you can do that, and if you could do that at the drop of a hat or the flick of a switch, you'll be successful, right? And so that's what I really learned working with Rhapsody and in New York. New York is such a mixing pot of art. In that time when I was coming up as a dancer, you got to realize when you're in your like teens, 20s, and or not even, I mean, you could be 30 and just start dancing, and you're still going to be in a group of people that will be encouraging and will be inspiring. And being in New York, you were around dancers, but in dancers, again, like the Broadway dancers, but then you're around the actual street dancers, like the original break dancers and the original this dancer and that dancer. And you're around voguers and you're around whackers, and you can indulge in everything and you can learn everything. You can go to the ballet, and then from the ballet, you can go to a Vogue battle. And from a Vogue battle, you can go to a dance hall event, and you can walk this whole thing, and you're watching kids run around and you're watching people dance on the train. It's so many layers of creativity. So I really think that New York is an amazing place for young artists to go and to experience. It gives you a different understanding as opposed to when you go to, a city like LA before you've done anything and you see the glitz and the glamour, right? You see the glitz and the glamour, but you don't have the grit to block out the haters.
But you're saying New York kind of gives you a little rough around the edges?
Yeah, New York, the energy of New York gives you a realistic view of what it is that you're doing. Because, the term starving artist, right? Mm-hmm. That's everybody in New York. It's not just artists, it's everybody in New York. Everybody in New York is is on a pace to go get it, to go get
They're
something.
hungry. They're hungry.
They're, like I just said, you're going from the ballet to the Vogue battle to this and that. You could be the worker that's going from the ballet to the Vogue battle to this and that, just working, not even dancing. So everybody's on a realistic hunt, and you feel it. And so when you go to some place like LA and they see you with that edge, they want you. If you look at Sabrina Carpenter, if you look at Janet Jackson, if you look at Demi Lovato, if you look at anybody that's on tour right now, Chris Brown, those people 9 times out of 10 are from another country or from an urban city, like an East Coast city. Could be Toronto, could be New York, could be Atlanta, could be DC, could be Boston, but they're from an environment that is gritty, right? And it's a different kind, because I live out in the woods now. It's a different grid out here.
I'm sure. What a change of pace. We got to talk about that in a minute, but what a change of pace from where you are now to how you started. So different.
I know. Going to LA with an experience and with, knowing yourself, right? That's the other thing. When you go out to where it's like glitz and glamour, you got to know yourself, and you got to have you got to be able to say no to people, right? Because you want it so bad. But you got to be able to say no to someone who's trying to steal your energy. You got to, like choreographers, people, other dancers, people posing as friends. You got to have some understanding of yourself and what your boundaries are, because your boundaries are what's going to keep you going when other people are getting pulled down. There's so many of us, right? There's so many of us trying to climb to the top. So you got to be strong in yourself so that you don't get pulled down as you make your way up.
Totally. So at what point did you make the transition from New York to LA, and what drove you to LA? Was it a job, or was it just wanting to change a pace?
Well, my career started, I'm going to say, like 2006. So in between 2006 and 2008, everything that was in New York as like commercial jobs, movies, commercials, touring artists, all TV, it all shifted to Los Angeles. So there was this mass exodus right as I was becoming a professional. And so I did 2.5 years in New York, and I kind of hit the ceiling. There were other dancers who had been there longer than me, and I was having small little successes, a little TV show, commercial, maybe an artist here and there, but I decided I need to check it out. So my plan, and this is what I advise anybody who's leaving their city to go to another city, was I took a 2-week trip. I took a 2-week trip from New York to LA, I want to say in the spring. And I knew some people out there. I had made some friends in New York that were booking work and that transferred over there. And so I just stayed connected. You got to have good, strong relationships, you guys. It's the best currency. Don't worry about money. Worry about your relationships. Your relationships will give your career longevity. Whereas if you're just going for I'm not being paid extravagantly or something like that, that's going to mess you up. You want to make good connections. But so I had people that I was connected with. And so I went out there. I had an agent at this time. So my agent told the West Coast that I was coming out there, and they sent me on a few auditions. And at the auditions, I was making it to the end, but no one would hire me because I was a new face. Right? So whenever you go to a new city, they're going to be like, who's that person? And let's say you're good. They're still going to be like, who's that? They're good, but do you know? The people right now, these are the people. Do you know that person? Nah, I don't know them. Do you know that person? No, I don't know them. Yeah, we'll see them next time. Right? And that's because them hiring you is them giving you an opportunity and sticking their neck out for you. If you're the dancer that shows up late, if you're the dancer that can't handle it, can't maintain it, can't be on camera, hasn't really done this before, that's them sticking their neck out, right? And that's happened to me. My first award show in New York, they hired me. I didn't know what I was doing. I killed it in rehearsal. We got on stage, and a boom, a crane came swooping in at me like this. Someone came running at me with a camera on his back and spinning around me. And I was like,
what's happening?
right? And the director stopped it at bullhorn, right? Old school bullhorn, stopped it. What's George doing? I was like, and she said, okay, run it back, ran it back. She never hired me again.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So it happens, but no one would hire me, but I was at the end of every audition I went to. I said, I got to move in my brain. I was like, nah, I got to move. You know what I mean? And so in that trip, I was taking classes with everyone. I was making friends. I was, I was actually kind of feeling myself. I was like, okay, people see my energy. People see that grit. People see my style. And the trick was everyone really thinks that I'm a hip hop dancer at heart. At heart, y'all, I'm musical theater. I'm like, hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. You know?
Well, that was your beginning. That's how you started.
Right. So, and that's my trick. So I found a nice character, right? The hat goes on, I'm a different person. Okay. When the hat goes on and the hat goes low, I get into a different swag. I'm in a different vibe. The riz, the aura is on 1000. Okay. But I'm a jazz dancer. You know what I mean? Like I'm a jazz dancer. So I can show you pictures. I can show you lines. I can get to the point that it's like, hold on. Does he? Oh, he dances like that. Right. So it's, the shift to LA was because I was like, I have to move at this point now. I'm on these people's level. The other hidden gem about LA, and I don't know if you would agree, Menina, but the thing about LA is that there's so many dancers there. And especially now there's so much content. You look at everybody and you're like, wow, these dancers are amazing. There are the most amazing dancers in LA. I would say that is under 25% of all the dancers in LA are those amazing dancers that are booking the jobs, that are always working, right? It's a small little pocket of artists that are like really consistently going. You know what I mean? The other people, they're catching stuff here and there. They're doing jobs here. They're grinding. They're on, we're hitting the dance convention. We're in the dance comps. We're judging. You're making your way.
Yeah, I did that.
You're figuring out how to get along there. But when you go out there, you got to realize, especially, when you're like, in your studio, in your city, you're one of the top dancers. It's okay to feel that as if you're working for it. It's okay to feel boosted up and to boost yourself up. You have to boost yourself up before anyone else boosts you up. You have to believe in yourself because that's what people see. People see how you see yourself. That's what they see in you, how great you feel about yourself, how confident you are, despite messing up, despite anything going wrong. So for me, it was time to go. And when I went out there, I stayed with, here's another name for you, Cassidy Noblet. He's done everything. He was just in the Michael movie. He's a Janet Jackson dancer.
Nice.
He's a Spice Girls dancer. He's everybody. Nicole Scherzinger. He's done everything. He's one of my favorites. He's one of the nicest people in the world. Yeah, got to find the nice people. But he let me stay with him. He mentioned my name to Kevin Maher. He's like, hey, I got so-and-so from New York. And he come, you got anything you're doing? He's like, yeah, can I hire him? I'll pay him $100 to do New Kids on the Block skeleton crew. I didn't even know what a skeleton crew was. I was
I'm going to pause you because I know what it is. Do you want to explain what that is? Because some of these dancers might not know.
Mm-hmm.
What is a skeleton crew?
A skeleton crew is the prep crew for any show or any TV or any movie. The easiest example is like if you've seen a Disney movie like Encanto or Aladdin or something. To get those characters to move like that, they actually choreograph it on dancers and they film it the way they want it to move in an animation. And so those dancers that they're filming are called the skeleton crew. So for New Kids on the Block, they hired, I don't know, I think there's 5 of them, 5 dancers, and they brought us in the room and they say, okay, you're now New Kids on the Block. If you point with the left finger, he's going to point with the left finger. So make sure you know what you're doing. Okay. And he choreographed on us. They filmed it. They sent it to them, and then they performed on the AMAs. They didn't even come into rehearsal. They learned it off of video, and they showed up on stage and they performed it.
Wow.
But yeah, so it was literally someone knowing me. It wasn't even me being like the best. At no point have I ever thought I was the best dancer in the world. A lot of the times in the room, because I have so much respect for this person next to me, because I see their greatness. I step in the room with Tucker Barkley and I'm like, what am I doing in this room? Stressed. The first time I stepped in the room with Tucker Barkley, you guys know who Tucker Barkley is? Oh my God.
But when he was a younger kid back in probably in your peak years, but now he's more mature, and he's not as well known with the younger kids because he's not really a big social media guy, but he's definitely a very talented. He especially was incredibly talented as a younger dancer, for sure.
Yes. And he, as she said, when he was like early teens, this was like 13, 14, 15. And this was the beginning of YouTube. It was crazy. The man was, if there was viral, then he was viral. It was crazy. And like, just powerful. He was dancing for Janet Jackson. He danced for everybody. And he's this young kid. Meanwhile, this is the start of my dance journey. I'm not good at all. I'm still in college. I don't even really do hip hop. And I'm watching, I'm like, this is crazy. This is the most crazy person I've ever seen. Cut to 6 years later, I'm in the room with him. I'm dancing with him. We're laughing. We're joking. I really have imposter syndrome because I'm like, what am I doing here? What's going on? Right. But then, we all have that moment, but then you got to have the moment of realization that it's like, I'm supposed to be here. I may not understand it.
You belong.
But you belong, and you have to take it when people are like, you deserve this.
Yep, stand in your light and let it shine. And that's the thing too. I can totally resonate with everything you're saying, because I was that same dancer where I would look to the left and to the right and be like, oh my gosh, I could dance circles around me. This whole relationship thing, you guys, dancers, what do I always tell you? Like, you're literally preaching what I preach them all the time. Dancers, what is my favorite saying? Contacts equals contracts. I say it all the time. And that's exactly what you're talking about. It was just like a friend knows a friend. Are you available? No audition. Sometimes no even marketing material. Sometimes it's just like, are you available? There's a friend. There's awesome. Okay, great. You're booked. And that's how the industry works.
It is. And, I think a lot of people have a hard time letting go of what you always dreamt of, right? We always have these dreams and we think we know what it takes to get to that dream, but you have no clue what it takes to get to that dream. And at some point you have to let go and go down that other road that you were like, I was never supposed to be on this road.
But you're on it.
But you're on it. Right?
Ride it.
Sometimes you have to let go because you never know what's on that road, right? My whole dance career and my whole journey as an artist is so serendipitous. It's all a version of me taking the left every time I was supposed to go right. Or every time every time I thought I was supposed to be going right, but only being able to make the left turn. Only being able to. Like, I missed the right, got to take the left. Didn't get into any colleges. The one I do, you can dance for free almost. You know what I mean? And then even moving to LA, I kind of know some people. I'm so hungry. I'm doing everything. I did three Britney Spears submissions, right? When there's a tour, a creative director, the top of the mountain will source other choreographers to choreograph each song or several songs. So I did 3 of random choreographers' submissions, and they saw me from the submission. They were
That's how you book the circus tour?
They were like, who's that guy? He's in
everyone's videos.
Why are all these people using that guy? And from that, I got a private call. I didn't get a private call, but they were extending invitations to certain.
Invitation only. Yeah.
But still with the invitation only, it was still like 300 dancers. It was crazy.
Oh, wow.
And so and we auditioned for like 2 days, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Like it honestly.
Britney tour auditions are crazy. That was my first tour audition too, but not circus. It was The Dream Within a Dream.
Okay, I love that one.
That was 2001. That was my first tour audition. I made it to the end. Also, 2 days. It was grueling. And you can't leave. You can't go like have a meal. Like you have just whatever snacks and you're dancing full out and then doing another round and a cut and another round and then a freestyle. You're dancing for your life at like 5 o'clock in the afternoon after you've been there 8 hours. And
you're sweaty, you're cramping, you're dehydrated.
You're tired, which everybody's fighting for. It's, fighting for that moment. But, auditions aren't like that anymore. Like the big 300-person audition is very rare now.
Yeah. I'm bougie now, and I'm like, I don't want to be in that that open call.
I don't have patience for that anymore.
But again, that is a part of, the character. Like you go through those things and you meet dancers and you create relationships and you figure out who's the shady dancer. You figure out who's the dancer that's supportive. You figure out who the funny people are. You figure out, you start figuring out who's where in the industry, who's been doing this for 10 years longer than you, and, still trying to get that big breakthrough. You know what I mean? Because there's a lot of people that, are there. And a lot of the times it's longevity, man. If you're there long enough, you're going to get a job eventually, y'all. It's crazy to say it like that. But if you're there and people know you, you're going to get a job.
Especially if you just keep showing up over time, they're like, okay, this person's still at it. Let's give them a shot. Let's give them a chance. Or maybe they're evolving. Maybe they just got better over time. I've seen that. I've seen dancers where they started off a little rough around the edges and then got better from training and then started booking.
And, everybody has a different journey. And there's a different cycle of success for everybody, right? So I came up with some of the most successful dancers, and we're all around the same age, right? Hi, you guys. I'm 42. I'm old. Yep. I came up with a select group of people, and we all kind of blasted off at different times, like years apart from each other.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting to see, like I came up with people who kind of just really took off within the last 5 years and are now like touring with Chris Brown and doing this and that. But we actually were at like the first Monsters of Hip Hop together. You know what I mean? So everybody has a different timeline. Yeah. And it's hard to feel that way when you see people that or you're in close proximity to blasting off and you're like,
when is it going to be my turn? You're like, yeah. It's hard. It's hard, especially when people that you love dearly are succeeding. You're like, can I have a shot too? But sometimes the people around you blast off first and then they lift you up.
Exactly.
That can happen too.
And that's not like someone giving you something. That's someone believing in you and knowing that you work hard and knowing that you're consistent and knowing your value. Right? You want to be around people who know your value and don't try to use. Then you want people that want you to collaborate. You don't want people that want to use you. Right?
True.
Collaboration is key. And, we've all had to do a project in school or something. And that one person that's just like, so you're not going to do anything?
Oh, dancers, who has had a project like school project like that where there's that one person that's not carrying their weight? Yeah, we've all done it.
It's like George didn't even read it, but he's at least in here taking the notes. You're not going to do anything. You know what I mean? So you always want to be around people, even like even with mentors and with training programs and all that stuff. And especially with agents, it's collaboration. It's not I work for you. It's not I do all the work. You gain success for me. It's collaboration. And if it's not collaboration, you got to make a move so that you are in a collaborative situation, right? Because George Jones jumps ship. If you don't believe in me, I'm gone. If we're not collaborating, I'm gone because we're wasting time. right?
Speaking of collaborations, there's another collaboration in your life. So you were a top performing dancer in LA for many years, and then you ended up in Canada because of an interesting collaboration. How on earth did that happen? You ended up leaving LA to go to Toronto first, I understand, and now in Halifax.
It's all because of dance, you guys. Like growing up where I grew up, and even, I don't know, as an American living outside of America, I realized how much traveling the world wasn't really emphasized as I was growing up. And I really feel extremely blessed that dance has taken me around the world multiple times. And I've been to Australia, and I've been to Russia, and I've been to places, Japan, places I never even could have dreamed of going, you know what I mean? And so dance brought me to Canada, and I met my wife, and we started a long distance relationship. And then I was like, I had kind of did everything that I wanted to do. I was in a place where I was thinking about family as opposed to thinking about my career, and there are career professional dancers, and, that's awesome for them. I know people who have been dancing since like 1998 that are still going, that are still on tour, that are still doing it at the top level. And that's great. But for me, it was like I was thinking about my family. And I also was trying to promote myself, right? Because when you're a dancer, you guys, ready? This is my analogy. If this was a corporation, when you're a dancer, you're in the mail room, right? You're in the mail room. And that's how they treat you. They try to pay you the least amount. They try to act like they don't need you. They try to take advantage of most situations. This is the people paying you, right? And you're in the mailroom. The next level out of the mailroom is choreographer. Up there, if this is where we are in the building, this is where the next level is. And there's not enough room for all of you up there. And the people up there are like, why y'all trying to come up here?
They're like, stay down there, stay down.
They're like, hold on.
Yeah, think about every dance job. There's only one choreographer hired for every, maybe, there could be 10 dancers, 20 dancers. So there's not a lot of room for choreographers up there. So yeah, you're right about that. Keep going. Right? Sorry, I interrupted.
No, it's okay. But there's not a lot of room up there, right? And to be realistic. And that is if you look at it as, I want to go up to choreographing tours. And that's how it started when I was in LA, and I was like, I'm done dancing. In 2012, I did 3 world tours in 1 year. So
my gosh, which one?
I did 2 with Nicki Minaj, 2 different ones, 2 completely different world tours. And then I jumped onto Jennifer Lopez's Dance Again world tour. And nice. I did the end of that. But coming off of that, I was like, what's next? Because I'm getting old. All right. I'm getting old. I need to sit down. I want to go up the level. So I was like, I came off a tour and I was trying to bump my level. And everyone was like, so after like 2 years of trying to get up there, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go up to that level, but I'm going to find my own way. And so I started choreographing I started dance team choreography, which is what I still do. I do a ton of dance team choreography. I just started doing choreography in general for competitions, for studio competitions, hip hop competitions. I've worked with the Cowboys. I've worked with Sacramento Kings, the Wizards. I've worked with a couple teams, you know what I mean? And I just realized I had to build my own extension. Lane. Yeah, I had to build my own lane on that level. And I did. And it's been one of the most wonderful choices of my life. You know what I mean? And I got to be a boss, and it actually taught me how I move. It taught me how to let go of copying people's energy. I started to train myself. I created a dance company where I was doing this. I was training young men to cross over into the commercial dance industry. While I was training them, I was training myself. I was training myself to be a choreographer and a creator that can choreograph at the drop of a dime. And if someone said change it, I could change it at the drop of a dime. And if someone said I need to be more jazz or I need to be ballet influenced, or if my wife said, no, that's not good, I could change it. You know what I mean? And that's another muscle. That's what separates a choreographer from a teacher and a dancer and a director. Like you gotta sharpen those tools and you gotta teach yourself and you gotta be ready. You know what I mean? But it's just been awesome. And it's been awesome to realize that my legacy isn't all those jobs, right? Like I said earlier, my legacy is the relationships and the people that I've been influenced by, even if that's training them. I've trained some of the most successful young dancers that are out there right now. If you guys have watched Taylor Swift in the last 4 years, the big guy with the hair, the guy with the big hair, Kevin Sheetsback, that's my kid. I trained him for 3 years when I moved to Toronto. I helped him get his O1 visa to LA right during COVID.
Woo.
Yeah.
Tough time.
His brother as well. His name's Michael Sheetsback. He's another Canadian from Toronto. He's just finished with BTS, Mariah Carey. But these guys they're the nicest people and they're truly amazing dancers. Like I'd be like, I really don't want to dance next to you guys, but let me give you some advice on how we get these relationships. And Manina, you can attest to this. When you see you guys taking the tools that we give you, and it doesn't have to be leaps and bounds. It's just steps. When we see you taking just the step towards your goal and the next step, when you start succeeding, like it's such a great feeling and it's such a rewarding feeling. And it makes us want to figure out other avenues to help you, to make it
100%.
easier for you, to give you the cheat codes, to give you that foot in, right?
No, absolutely. That literally just happened to me yesterday. One of my first mentees, she's no longer in the program now. She's alumni, but she didn't have a headshot, didn't have a resume, didn't have a website, didn't have an online presence, didn't have agent. She had nothing. Just moved from Serbia to Vancouver. She didn't know anybody, anything. She's like, I want to dance and I want to act. And do you know anything about this stuff? And before one thing led to another, she became a mentee. I went to a private screening for a feature film. She's the lead star of the film, hasn't released publicly yet. And she also won Best Emerging Actress at the Cannes World Film Festival. And I got to see her and I was like crying. I'm like, oh my God, this feels like my win. Because I know how far she's come to get to that place. And it's so rewarding to see people that you've played a small part in their journey, seeing them succeed and win. And then it becomes you learn with them too, because I'm not an acting expert by any means, but she found a pathway for herself with the tools that she learned here. So there's something very fulfilling about this work.
It is. And you guys look at the people in this room, right? Everybody's from different places, but realize that that's how it is when you decide you want to go somewhere and dance. Everybody's going to be from different places. Everyone's going to be from different places. So you got to realize that you guys have this one thing in common. You guys are here and there's this one thing that connects you. And from that connection, there's so much that can come about. I get jobs from people from college because of our relationship in college, as well as how hard I've worked on my own personal journey. But you know what I mean? I get people hitting me being like, oh, I remember you do sound design. Do you still do that? Can you? I don't still do that. But
you mentioned video editing.
And video. And I
clients for you yet.
I do the bare minimum, right? But these people in this room, you know what I mean? If you make a connection in here and you get to know someone and you're like, you respect, it's not knowing them as a dancer, it's knowing them as a person. It's 100%. what really connects you. You know what I mean? And being like, yo, we have this thing in common. I remember we got something that we can explore creatively, or you never know, man. So
it's true. You and I are preaching so much of the same, because I tell them all the time, I'm like, look to the left, look to the right of you. Those are the people that you're going to be collaborating with 5-10 years from now. You guys are going to end up in the same rooms. You're going to be auditioning for each other. One of you is going to be the choreographer. The next one's going to be an agent. The other one's going to be a dancer. And the other one's going to be a studio owner, a convention owner. Some of you guys are going to be collaborating years from now. So these little relationships that you make right now are so valuable. It's your ticket to actually the career that you want. And it's not always coming from people like him and I. We're not necessarily the ones going to be hiring you. You're going to be hiring each other one day. Watch.
Yep. And it's like you should take a screenshot. On one of these calls, you should take a screenshot so that, and you all should do it, right? And in 5-10 years, you're going to go back to that screenshot and it's going to be like, oh, well, she's a director now. And, he's dancing on tour with so-and-so and she's on Broadway and this and that. I have a picture from Monsters of Hip Hop in 2006 and it's Beyonce Single Ladies choreographer, Jaquel Knight. It's Chris Brown's choreographer, Cody Wiggins. It's Sabrina Carpenter's choreographer, Jasmine Beatty. We're all just there. And we all are like.
And you guys are just little kids taking the Monsters of Hip Hop convention.
Yeah. And we're just,
I love that.
We're just 22 trying to figure out how to become successful. And you know what I mean? And traveling the country, following this thing that we think is going to make us successful.
I love that.
You know what I mean? Like that the hunger that everyone has in this room, which has brought you to this place, is what connects you. And like, just don't forget it.
100%. I want to give everyone a chance to ask a question. The first one is from JL.
My name is JL. I am 23. I'm currently stationed in Scottsdale, Arizona for now. My question is, with your background, you say at your heart, you're a Broadway dancer, but then you grew up and you did all hip hop and you touched on so many different things. And you even said that you can kind of look at someone and kind of imitate them. What would you say is kind of your secret to being that chameleon and picking up on those details and kind of transferring them onto your person?
I truly am free of, I don't take on anybody else's judgment, right? Like I'm so free, I'm so fluid, and I don't care what people think of me. And I think that's my biggest attribute to my own character as a dancer. There's so many opinions. Everyone's going to think you're something that you are not just from looking at you. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to make an assumption about who you are, what you do, what you're good at. And so I already know that. And so I'm unafraid. If you tell me to dance like a chicken, someone actually said we're dancing like chickens.
I love it.
I'm not going to say who because I love him and he is brilliant. He is brilliant, but he had us dancing like chickens for a day. And then the next day they didn't bring him back. Anyway, but if they tell you you got to dance like a chicken, can you dance like a chicken without feeling like this is the most chicken? But you got to be free. You got to be free. And you got to know that, okay, I'm bad at this. Or, okay, let's not make it negative. I have to work really hard at this. I am not on a level as everyone else, right? Talk to yourself positively. There's enough people talking to you, or making you feel negative, or you know what I mean? So talk to yourself positive and find a positive way to say, I can work harder. I can do better. I need to do better, right? And then, that's what it is. You gotta be free. You can't take on judgment and you can't be judging yourself.
Oh, that.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Nice to meet you.
We have Imogen. You are next.
Hello, my name is Imogen. I'm 12 years old and I live in Port Moody, BC. My question is, in your journey, what would you change? Would you change anything?
Yes, I would change actually some of the people I decided to be friends with. And this is why I talk about connection as well, because, I'm trusting until you show me I shouldn't trust you. You can always be a little bit more intuitive with who you have around you, who you let experience your greatness, your light. You got to be very careful with who you share that with, because that will affect you. You can be affected by someone else's actions and energy, and that it's all in one, y'all. Reputation, skill, it's all there, right? So if I could change one thing, that would probably be it.
Love that. Thank you so much. All right, next up we have Olivia. Introduce yourself. What is your question?
Hi, my name is Olivia. I'm 17 and I'm from Ohio. And my question is, what performance or audition taught you the most about yourself in the industry?
I think the most valuable moment I had was when I danced with Usher. They brought us in as a flash mob, kind of. They hired a ton of us. And so I had done a little bit of work with the choreographer. And so when we got there, they did a in-rehearsal audition to be in another song. So we already got the job, but when we get there, they go, hey, we're also doing this song and we need to add 4 dancers. So learn this and we're going to audition you.
In rehearsal.
Stress.
Stress.
Stress, y'all. And it was like the choreography was amazing. I am very internal. And so I got stressed because I thought I had the job. Why am I auditioning? Even though I know this guy and we're running it, he's running the groups and he's standing next to me like the loudest old man, leathery hand snap there is next to me. Come on, George. He's like yelling in front of everybody. Like, come on, George. I know you got this. I didn't have it, y'all. You know what I mean? But it was a lesson to teach me, don't ever think you have the job just because you're on the job. You have
Don't
to
get comfortable.
And that close, this was day 1. Don't get comfortable day 1, right? So that was the experience that taught me, like, I have to stay on top of it, right? You can't start feeling yourself. You got to continuously work and, again, figure out what it is that you're working at. Me, it was the mental that I'm saying, like, I'm saying you got to be free. It was the mental. It was like, oh, everybody is killing it. I was in the room with like the best dancers in the world. Like, I was stressed.
All right. Thank you so much, Olivia, for your question. Next up, we have Sophia.
Hi, my name is Sophia. I'm 18 and I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. And my question is, how do you make choreography look good on dancers with different dance backgrounds?
Well, luckily, I have a different dance background. So, it's much easier now because we have this wonderful tool called YouTube, and you can go do research. You can go get your practice on. You know what I mean? Like, if someone like, oh, I want something African inspired. All right, y'all, crash course in African, bang.
YouTube.
Basic African movement. Boom. And start training yourself. Start, like, that's for anything. At this point, the tools are right there. So it's research, honestly. When it comes to that creative side, when you're a choreographer, you got to do your research. You got to do your research. And, hopefully, there's enough detail that I can really delve into it with, some research and some amazing assistants that inspire me, right? If ever you are an assistant, know that you are not there to dance. You are there to inspire, right? And you're going to inspire, and I'm going to steal your steps. No, I'm just joking. But you're there for your energy and to make the choreography. To
contribute.
To feel comfortable and to feel confident, right? Your confidence is their confidence as well. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Sophia, for your question. Next up, we have Isabella.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Isabella. I'm 14 years old and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. And my question is, in the dance world, a lot of dancers are very extroverted. And I was wondering if you had any tips for the introverted type of shy people.
I would say for the introverted type person, again, it's about finding a connection with people who understand you and aren't going to pressure you to step out of your comfort zone in a way that, is not beneficial. I would say if for anyone that is introverted, your work, again, like I was talking about my mental in the room, is something I'm working on, then what you're going to have to work on is that, right? Outside of the dance, you are going to have to work on that a little bit, right? Because it's like auditions. It's when you get on the job, it's not about being that best person, the highest leg, on the leg. It's about, as like, if we're working together, it's like, do I want to be around this person for the next week, 6 weeks, year, 2 years? You know what I mean? And so if it's hard to get to know you, it may make it hard to be in the workplace. And that's just being honest. So you want to work on, it's not saying you got to be the big, loud person. There's one of those per jobs. And a lot of the time people don't like that person.
That's funny.
So it's okay to be introverted. I'm semi. I'm a people person. Like, this is how I talk in person, but I don't like going out. And that was part of a struggle for me in my career, is that I'm not going to go out just to get a job. I mean, I did a couple times and it's not fun. And I don't want to talk to that person. And you know what? I'm sneaking out of here because I don't want to be here. You know what I mean? But you'll have to find ways to step in and out like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a big show called Choreographer's Carnival. Hate going to Choreographer's Carnival. I would show up late and I would leave early. It's called showing face.
You're like, I'm here, I'm gone.
Right? So, it's just working on it, man. And again, don't feel pressured. People will always try to pressure you. Don't feel pressure. Set your boundaries and find people that want to help you navigate that, as opposed to, you need to do this. No. This is my journey. Okay?
Well, I think because I know Isabella, I think she's larger than life on stage. Off stage, she's very quiet. And I think there's a lot of performers that are like that. I mean, heck, Michael Jackson was like that. He was so socially awkward in person, but he was larger than life on stage. So if people get to see your work on stage and they like what they see on camera or when you are shining bright, then they'll still want you, even if you're quiet off stage and off camera. As long as you actually speak. I mean, if you're spoken to, I know you'll speak back. I mean, even just you asking this question, I think is huge, because you usually shy away from questions. You actually raised your hand this time. So I want to celebrate that. That's a big deal for you. So
let's go, girl. Let's go.
Be honest, is this uncomfortable to be on the spot like this in front of everybody and talk?
Yes.
Okay. And that's okay. And that's okay. But here's the thing. I tell my 6-year-old all the time, what do we do when we're scared? We do the scary thing. And then we're not so scared anymore. Guess what happened? You're alive. Nobody ate you or bit you, or you're not hurt. You're okay. And it wasn't so scary. And guess what? You do it again. And then you do it again. And then over time, those scary social interactions might actually not feel so scary.
And for all of you, you know what they say? They say that thing that you dream of is right on the other side of that fear that you have.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. 100%.
That thing that you're dreaming of, but it's like, oh.
It's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable sometimes to step out of your comfort zone. But once it's like getting on a roller coaster, there's an anticipation. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. You get on it, you're like, wah! And then after you're done, you're like, your heart is racing, but you're like, I did it. That was fun. Can we do it again?
Yeah, man. But it's okay. Just be amazing at what you love, okay? Because look, and I'm going to say this allegedly, but have you guys know who Isabel Capps is? She's a hip-hop choreographer.
No, I don't.
Well, she's one of the biggest and best choreographers right now. She's young. She's wonderful. And her dancing is larger than life. And when you say hi to her, she's the most quiet, nice person. Like, she's reserved. And it's okay to be reserved, because you gotta keep that so you can share it to the world.
Yeah, no, and if anything, it adds a little bit of mystery to you, because everybody sees you on stage and you're like larger than life, and then off stage you're like, hi.
Bang.
And then it also, that humility, it shines through as well. Like, oh, she doesn't even have an ego. You have a chip on your shoulder. I've seen you dance. You have a chip on your shoulder when you're on stage. You have all kinds of swag when you're on stage, and then off stage it's like, hi. That sweet little girl. So if anything, that could be your superpower. Yeah. Own it. All right. So proud of you for asking a question and doing a scary, uncomfortable thing. And I'd love for you to do more of it. All right. Next up, we have Gabrielle.
Hi, my name is Gabrielle Harris. I'm 13 and I'm from Fort Myers, Florida. And my question is, how do you define authenticity in a dancer's performance?
I define it through the emotion that I feel from watching them. It's all feeling for me. It's all feeling. Like coming in so late, it's what I feel from that movement. And it's how I teach myself. I teach myself choreography, and I remember choreography through the muscle movement as opposed to the counts. And, some people are counts, some people are sounds. I'm like completely feeling. And so when I watch dancers, it's seeing the work. It doesn't matter what style it is. It's like seeing someone in control of their artistry, of what they're bringing to life. There's no feeling like it. And when you see someone that is locked into that, it's almost uplifting. And so that's kind of what makes me define it. And again, it could be so many different things. It could be the power, the control, the musicality. There's so many different layers to it. But it's control for me, because it takes dancers a long time to get to the place of feeling in control of other people's movement.
Love that. Thank you so much, Gabriel.
Thank you.
Next and final question is Matthew.
Hello, my name is Matthew. I'm from Alberta, Canada. And my question for you is, what is one tip that you wish that all dancers know for an audition?
That all dancers should know. I mean, the basics really help. The basics: downstage, upstage, stage right, stage left, in the window. Basic, like being able to take direction verbally is a skill that so many people don't have. And you'll get, the moment you walk into an audition, you are auditioning, right? The moment you walk in, maybe standing outside on the sidewalk, if they got people on the sidewalk handing out papers with a camera behind the scenes, BTS, you're now auditioning, right? So that's like basic etiquette that you need to understand. You need to understand, like, you don't want to stick out in the bad way. The bad way is like being too loud, being obnoxious, being too much for the wrong reasons. Yeah. But those simple things, like you guys do know downstage, upstage, stage right, stage left. Y'all know that stuff, right? Because they're going to say, I need 1 through 5, downstage, upstage, downstage, upstage, downstage, upstage.
Stay in your windows.
Stay in your window. You know what I mean? And then switch the second time. And they shouldn't have to say it again. When you finish dancing, you immediately switch. Music comes back on. You get back to...
Or freestyle at the end.
Freestyle
at the beginning. Or slate to the camera, not to the people at the table. There's so many different directions. Being attentive, I think, is so important. It's not just about the steps. They're looking at how you are in the room and how attentive you are to the direction given.
It is. And just to add, just because it's our last question, when you start dancing for the job, and that's like taking class at Millennium or taking class at Debbie or wherever, Team Millie or wherever, it needs to become strategized. You need to start watching the dancers that look like you. You need to search out the dancers that look like you, the dancers that are going to be your competition, so you can see how they dance, and so that you can dance like them and then dance better than them, like them. It all has to become strategy and steps to your goal, right? So auditioning is not just taking class, it's strategy. When you're in an audition, you need to watch everybody auditioning. I always auditioned first or last. I don't want to be any of the people in the middle, because nobody remembers what happened in the middle. You remember who set the tone, and you remember who put the exclamation point at the end of the sentence. That stuff in the middle is dribble. And if you go first, they normally give you grace. They're like, you missed 2 counts. You were brave enough to go first. Go on through to the callback.
Or sometimes the choreography is fresh in your brain, so you get to do it right away. Because I don't know about you, but I've sat in auditions for hours. By the time they get to your group, the choreography is completely not, because you've been watching on the side. And even if you're kind of marking through, it's not the same once you get to the center and then blank. You just blank out sometimes. And that happens, especially if you are later in the day and you don't have an opportunity to practice full out. So yeah, getting it out of the way, especially if you get cut, then you can go home and you don't have to stay there all day long until you get cut. Or if you stay, then you can actually take a break and have a quick bite to eat or something, a snack or some water, and not stressed waiting in the sides. But yeah, listening to your mark and if you have the option to go wherever you want, find the center. Because I don't know about you, but I find the dancers that are in the back corners, no matter how well they dance, it's a real struggle. The eye automatically is drawn to whoever is center. Same with groups and classes. Like, those class videos that you guys film, my eye is drawn to whoever is front and center.
Yeah,
that's where my eye goes.
Don't be afraid to step into your light because you might make a mistake, right? That stops so many of us from like taking your time. It's your time, and you're kind of afraid to step into the light because I might mess up. You might mess up. I'm gonna let you know now. If you Google me, you're gonna find a video of me like this. And this means I messed up right before this. Okay? There's so many, everyone makes a mistake. So you gotta know that okay, anything can happen. I'm gonna make a mistake. I'm gonna get through that mistake, and I'm still gonna shine. Absolutely. Yeah, don't stand. If you got a choice, you find that middle. You should it should be like, excuse me.
Yes, unless there's numbers. If there's numbers, unfortunately, you are where you are. If there's no numbers and it's just like, okay, this person, this group, come to the floor, and everybody's like wiggling their way, you wiggle yourself to the front and the center if you can.
take that stage, guys.
100%. Well, before we let you go, do you have any final words?
Honestly, I've been so excited to be here and get to share with you guys. This is really part of my passion now. As I was saying, once COVID hit, this is what I was doing for the 2 years after COVID. And, it's just awesome to get to see, young new faces that are hungry for it. And that's what it's about. You know what I mean? Everywhere you go, people are not going to be hungry for it. I live in Halifax now, and dancing in Halifax is not the same as dancing in like Toronto. Being around people who are all kind of moving as a unit towards something is a different feeling. So if you're not in that place, when you get to that place, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. Why didn't I come here earlier? You know what I mean? But so for me, going backwards into a community where dance isn't really a priority, or people aren't really aspiring with the arts, it's just been a different transition for me. So it's really nice to get to meet some people from around the world, across the country, across the continent, and share some of my gems and give some of you guys some of the cheat codes to, get to where you want to go. I wish someone would have been like, hey, you shouldn't do that. You should do this, or you should think about it in this way, so that, I could go even faster. My career as a professional dancer only was so short. It was so short, but I did so many things in such a short amount of time. And I honestly feel fulfilled with dance as a performer. So, I hope and I wish that you all get to what you want with dance. Doesn't have to be a professional performer. It could be a studio. It could be a company. You could be a trainer. You could be a fitness. You could be writing about dance. You could be filming dance. You could be working on music for dance. There's so many different things. You could be a teacher. There's so many different avenues. So don't lock yourself into one single idea. I hope I get to meet some of you guys in person one day. And, I wish you all the best.
Well, on behalf of the business of dance, we send you lots of love. Thank you so much for spending time with us. Really appreciate your time. And I'm glad that we connected, and so many golden nuggets, so much great advice, so many names. I hope you guys wrote that down. If you didn't, listen to this replay, because there's definitely some big name choreographers and directors that you mentioned along with this conversation that you guys need to know. What is the best way dancers can connect with you?
George Jones Jr. When you Google it, make sure you put the junior. If you don't put the junior, the country singer comes on. That ain't me. Okay. He don't look like me or any. That is not me. But make sure you put George Jones Jr. dance, and all my socials and stuff should come up. that's the best way to connect with me, Instagram or...
I love it. Well, keep inspiring the next generation.
Sure.
Such a pleasure to finally have you on here. It was great connecting with you. Dancers, please share your gratitudes to George through Instagram and share your appreciation. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
And that concludes another episode of the Business of Dance podcast.
We hope you found today's conversation insightful and gained valuable knowledge.
Be sure to join us next time for more inspiring interviews with top professionals in the dance industry.
If you enjoyed today's episode, please subscribe to The Business of Dance on your favorite platform and take a moment to leave a review. Your feedback is greatly appreciated.
This podcast is brought to you by the Business of Dance online mentorship program to help aspiring professional dancers create their dream dance careers.
Thank you for listening. Until next time.